Who are you who was so wise in the ways of science? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about how to spend all of the currency in the game. Other than crystals, we're going to talk about the best places to buy them and the best things to purchase with your currency so that you can get ahead, or at least stay ahead of your competition. That's one way to get way ahead in this game, actually. This game is such a grind that if we adhere to these 5 simple rules, but if we do kind of stick to these general guidelines, it is going to really help long term. Huge shout out to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all of your support, guys. And if you want to support this channel for free, I just want to remind you folks, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, comment. It would mean a lot to me, folks. Melt the algorithm. For once in your life, guys, just pull the trigger. Oh, or don't, but you know. Link this video so other people can mount the algorithm if you want. I hope that this is a helpful video, actually. I hope that there is some value in it. So let's get to it, folks. So we're gonna start with credits, and credits are kind of a weird currency. That's, you know, it's the first thing that you have in the game, and you're buying upgrades, you're doing all this stuff, leveling your characters. Obviously, that's really important to level your characters. You can see I took a screenshot of my smallest account, which is, I mean, it's still kind of big account at this point. It's over 7 million GP, but I still can't afford to level even one character right now, all the way to 85. And so it was embarrassing enough that I took a screenshot and bared it to the rest of the world. So you're welcome for that. Buying those 3 or those 4 different nodes in the shipments every 6 hours, that actually holds a lot of value, especially early game. You're spending almost 0 of your credits, really. On the percentage wise, you're not spending much at all, but you're getting gear that's going to be foundational for your success long term. Now, in the weekly shipments, if you don't have the characters that are featured there, and this only refreshes every 7 days, so sometimes you'll be like, oh man, I already farmed this, I already farmed the ship, but I don't have the character. It's generally going to be a good deal. I will say, if you're strapped for credits and you're really struggling to upgrade your characters, maybe you can just hold off on it. You don't have to do that. It's okay value. I have skipped it a couple times on my smaller account just because I can't afford it. And then buying mods, that's kind of a rich man's game at this point for credits. They kind of changed with the raid changes a few months back. They changed the way we're getting we're not getting as many credits. You can buy the credits for raid currency, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but you don't get as many credits naturally unless you specifically buy them. And buying mods, great in the store. It's wonderful if you find something that you really like. Try it on, I guess. But I would say buying credits or buying mods in the mod store, you can probably just skip that a lot of time. I mean, I don't want to say skip it. Gosh, it's a tough thing for me to advise people to be spending a lot of credits on, because I know how tough it is to keep enough credits to upgrade the characters that you need to upgrade when you're doing it. Plus, upgrading your mods, all that stuff. Credit management is a whole different thing in this game. And let's kind of get away from it. We'll talk about how to get more credits in a little bit. Now, the Galactic War Tokens and Cantina Battle Tokens, this is a really easy one, folks. So the Galactic War Tokens, remember, when you buy shards from a store, buy the ships if you can. They're worth more shard shop currency, and that's wonderful. So first, farm the new characters, farm the characters that you don't have in these stores. They're not adding new characters to these stores for the most part, and buy ships with them. Buy every day with the Galactic War Tokens, finish your Galactic War, or do the sim, whatever, and then buy the 3 ships in the row. And if you don't have those ships farmed, then great, you're going to have them farmed, and they're all important for different reasons. The Cantina battle tokens, almost the exact same thing, except I would say sometimes buy that shipbuilding materials as well. I would say, I mean, I typically just click on one, then the other. Every day I get one of each, and just because it's nice to have that shipbuilding materials, and you can use that to buy, you know, mods. You can use it to upgrade your ship. You can build your ships, guys, with shipbuilding materials, if you didn't know that. And then the Cassian node is on the top, which is awesome because that holds the most value. Squad Arena tokens are a little bit more complicated. The other ones are just like, yeah, you use them to farm shard shop currency. This one you use to sometimes farm shard shop currency, but you can buy other things. First off, prestige. You can get prestige, which is a thing that you upgrade abilities for your ships with, and it's easy to overlook. Especially when you're upgrading, like you're going to unlock a new capital ship. You need, if you're going to get that capital ship up to 7 stars, which I realize sometimes it takes a while to get it up to that level, but if you were to magically have a new capital ship, it would cost about, all the way up to 7 stars, it would cost about 2,000 prestige. So always try to keep a decent amount of that banked. Once you have a decent amount of that, you could buy credits. I don't like that as much anymore, folks, because you can buy shard shop currency, which shard shop currency is very important if you want to do Datacrons. I know not everyone wants to do Datacrons, but Datacrons are a really, I mean, they're a really interesting part of the game if you want to invest in them. I'm not going to try to sell you on them, but I will say shard shop currency is a must if you want to participate in Datacrons, if you want to do well in PvP beyond what you're already doing. So in that case, buy the shards of characters here. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, which is kind of just frustrating to have to do every time, but most of the gear there is going to be worth different values of relic materials, which are, you know, the more common ones, the bronzium pieces and the carbonite pieces, the lowest level ones. That's usually what's cashed in there. That holds a lot of value. If you buy those at the bottom, they are really quite good. So lots of different things you can buy in the squad arena. And guild tokens, this one's even more complex. So buying new characters, it hurts to do this because you don't earn that many guild tokens anymore, because you used to earn a ton of them in the raids, in the old raid system. New raid system gave us new currencies, which we'll talk about later, and now we're still earning it in a couple other ways, but we're mostly getting them from like territory wars, or I think, is that it? Maybe a couple other places. I guess you're getting them daily for doing your dailies and stuff, but you're not getting that much. So what should you buy with these? And so I made a video like this, I think it was about 10 months ago, something like that, and I did say that you should be purchasing Carbanti and you know, the cuffs and all that, like the more common core pieces of gear, and I'd actually disagree with that now. With given time and perspective, I really think you should be buying the cheap gear. You can see the little nodes that I've circled there with the red squares. Those ones are the gifts that keep giving. You don't always have to do the top right one with that node. Sometimes it's like, that one holds less value, and you can kind of tell after looking at it. But I would say if you want to farm new characters, you can. This currency is rare enough that you'll run out pretty dang quick, and the Mark 1 currency that you can buy those characters with, those exact same characters with, is probably going to be a little more plentiful, though you're going to be using that currency to buy a lot of your core gear as well. So, you know, you're going to have to kind of balance that. I would say get the cheap gear with it, and then you can get the Gear 11 finishers, which are, you know, like the pieces that you use to go from Gear 11 up to Gear 12, and, you know, those pieces are exclusively in that slot, so you can get those. They're kind of expensive there, but it's a decent place. If you need to get a quick 10 or 15 of them, you can grab that. And then if you're basically done with getting all those, if you've gotten a pretty good stock of all of the things that you need there, I would advise getting the mod piece, the Mark II Pulse whatever it's called. That's too small for me to be able to read. Actually, modulator, yeah. So I mean that piece is always in demand. So you can buy a lot of stuff with this, and I would just advise, do not try to farm shard shop currency with this. I mean, you can get it. It's just, in my opinion, very much not worthwhile. Now, getting Fleet Arena tokens. This is a place, guys, where, first off, there are some exclusive ships and characters. You want to farm your characters. You want to farm all those ships and everything. You know, you can get the Razor Crest, which is the only Conquest character that you can actually just farm with tokens, with a different currency. I mean, I guess there's a new token now that you could farm it with, but I wouldn't advise that. Really, once you farm all the characters from there, all the characters and all the ships, including, this is where you want to get General Grievous as well. Check every single time if you can, every refresh, get General Grievous. Very important farm. But once you do that, don't farm Mark 3 ability mats, even if you're a new player and you are just so desperate for them. Don't do it. Mark 3 ability mats are they're a trap. You'll have a million of them. Soon enough, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have so many. And don't farm Omegas here, guys. It's not efficient. There's a better place to get them. If you really need Omegas, get them in the other place that I'll tell you in a minute. Buy Zetas. Just buy all the Zetas that you can. Lots of Zetas. Huge Zeta crunch in this game. Still, you need those Zeta materials, and if you can get all the Zetas, then you'll win all your games. No, I can't guarantee that, but it is very important, guys. Championship tokens. These are earned by participating in GAC. This is the best place that you can buy Kyrotech. This is the best value by far, buying Kyrotech here. Now, if you have enough Kyrotech, which means you're way at the end of the end game, then you can buy modding materials. You can see a screenshot, you know, like kind of the 6E materials, the stuff that may turn into 6E, and then also just, I guess, some of the more mid-range mod materials. Those are decent, and then you can buy finishers here as well. You can buy other gear. I mean, none of it's great value. If you desperately need it, I guess you could. None of it's nearly as strong value though as Kyrotech, and the majority of people watching this, guys, I think, are really desperately needing Kyrotech. You should be spending the vast majority of this currency on Kyrotech, and that's it. That's all you need. Shard store tokens. This one's a little complex, so we actually have 2 slides for this. So first off, there are 2 nodes that you really need to buy as much as you can of these, because you're just going to need so stinking many. So you can see I've kind of circled them, and honestly the one in between them is also really strong. If you can buy those every single refresh, you're going to have success. And I mean, you need those pieces. You need them all the time. They're gear 12 pieces that you're going to need to get to your characters to gear 13 and be able to use those characters to their full ability and their full potential. Now, if you have enough shard shop currency, shard store currency, whatever, and you want to spend it on other things, so you can buy gear 11 finishers and other pieces of gear. It's not terrible value. I'll do that here and there, just like, oh my gosh, I really need like 12 Carbanti. Sure, spend a few shard shop currency there, shard store tokens, whatever. And then, honestly, one of the best ways to spend your shard store tokens, at least if you want to participate in Datacrons without spending actual crystals or dollars, is buying the materials in the store for the Datacron store. So let's oh, and I should note here, folks, real quick, do not farm General Grievous with shard store tokens. It is a terrible, terrible value. Buy them with the ship tokens, or fleet tokens, whatever they're called, and don't buy them with shard store tokens at all. At terrible value. Now, in terms of the shard store stuff, what should you buy there if you want to get ahead? So during Conquest especially, and while I'm trying to farm all the different materials, I'll spend a lot on the data cache and you know, it refreshes every 6 hours, so you can buy a lot of it. If you're not careful, you can spend all your shard store currency here, so be careful. But then the only other one that's worth anything really here is well, the 2 reroll mats for level 3s and level 6s. Only really worth it if you really need a bunch of level 3 and level 6 rerolls. If those aren't important for the Datacrons that you're trying to farm, which, you know, I put out other videos talking about those, trying to keep people current on Datacrons. Certain sets are like, well, you don't really need much on the level 3s, like don't worry about rerolling them, etc. Then, you know, the value goes less, of course, but some of them it's like, oh my gosh, I need to have a specific level 3 on every single Datacron. And then the other ones that you could buy that have some value but not much, you could buy the actual Datacrons and you could buy the Mk3 mats, neither of which hold much value at all, especially compared to these other ones. So Conquest Credits, that's, you know, as you continue, as you advance through Conquest, here's what you can buy with the Conquest Credits, and really what you want to buy, guys. So if you want to get the Conquest characters, if that's something that's valuable to you, then great. This is a great place to do it, a good value for it. If you want to win in Conquest, sometimes you need consumables. I mean, I typically don't if you have the plan the right way, but if you get stuck, or if there's a specific thing that you need to be accomplishing, buying the consumables is not a terrible option with this. Just be careful, because those consumables are a lot of times right next to things that you can buy for consumables you can buy for crystals, and if they'll kind of trick you, you know, into spending some crystals. You're like, oh my gosh, that cost me 300 crystals for something I didn't want that much. It's kind of sad. The #1 thing to buy, guys, so buying other gear, buying all that stuff, that's fine. You'll have enough of it if, you know, if you're whatever, if you probably will have enough. If you have, before you buy anything though, buy all of the signal data that you can here, guys. All the signal data possible. This is very, very important, guys. Signal data is one of the biggest bottlenecks in the end game, and you just need it. You need so much of it. You need so much of it. Buying it in Conquest, buying all that you can with Conquest currency is going to be very important for you long term. Ally points. This is one that people get lazy and they don't want to turn them all into the, you know, shard shop currency, basically, you know, like cash them in on the bronzium cards. If you can get an auto clicker, or if you have hot utils, something like that, that'll do it for you, that's a wonderful value. If you're not going to do that, then I mean, and you're just going to accumulate millions and millions of ally points, and you're not going to turn it into shard store currency, which, I mean, that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. If you're not going to, though, you could buy them. You could use it to buy different things for Datacrons, or there's some gear. Terrible value compared to if you just turned it into shard stored currency. You could buy the same stuff typically for way cheaper, but your call. I get it if you don't want to get an auto clicker. It's kind of frustrating. So Mk1 Guild event tokens. So we have Guild event tokens 1, 2, 3, and then raid tokens 1, 2, 3. So let's try not to get them confused. So the Guild event tokens, we don't earn as many of those doing the Rise of the Empire territory battle anymore, but you want to buy those exclusive character shards if you can, like Malak, Hoda, Wampa. There might be a couple more, but those are going to be important. Those are the only places you can really get them, other than like special events that are not that consistently showing up. So if you want to farm them consistently, use Mk1 Guild tokens, and then you want to get the left side gear 12 pieces. And you know what? When you look at the character profile on the right hand side, there's the more expensive. Those are the you know, those are the right-hand side. That's the finisher side. Those are the ones that have speed added to them. The ones on the left-hand side, those are the ones you buy with Mk1 Guild currency. And you can see a few examples of them here on the slide. But this is the best place to buy those efficiency-wise. You can buy them a couple other places, but this is by far the best place to be purchasing them. So that's probably those are the two things that I would recommend, like getting the characters and then getting the Gear 12 left side pieces. The Mark II Guild event tokens. So this is the best place. I mean, you can get exclusive characters and ships, of course. You got Negotiator, Malevolence. That's the only place you can get them. So you're going to be spending a lot on, like, you just spend all your Mark II Guild currency on them for a while. And then also getting IPD or Rolo, you know, other exclusive characters. And then this is also just, this is the place to get Kyrotech, guys. Mark II Guild currency, this is the place. This is where you go to spend your Mark II currency. Just buy all the Kyro you can, because you need all the Kyro in the whole world. CG is never satisfied with giving us just a small Kyro assignment for new characters. So, Mark III Guild event tokens. So this is something that I've changed since the last video. I used to say buying the relic materials was worthwhile. I don't really think it is anymore. Because Mark III raid currency is going to be a lot more efficient, and in the meantime, use this to buy Kyrotech. Again, you need all the Kyrotech you can get. Mark II and Mark III, buying Kyrotech is great once you get to the point of you don't need Kyrotech as much anymore because you are, you know, more endgame. Then you can start buying attenuators to help you with your modding. You can buy, if you really want to, you can buy like Omicrons, though that's not really going to be that effective long term. Like, you won't even notice the slow influx of Omicrons. It just takes a long time to accumulate any number of those. And then also, if you don't have, there's exclusive characters. This is one of the places you can buy conquest shards for characters that are really old, like, well, really old, like a couple of years, ever since Conquest kind of first came out. This is where you can buy Commander Ahsoka Tano shards. You can buy Ki-Adi-Mundi shards. You're gonna have to determine if those are worth it to you. Definitely Cat and Maul, those guys are worth it. Ki-Adi-Mundi, I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I'm still not sure. He costs a lot, and he doesn't get you nearly as much as you'd be missing. I mean, you want to buy Kyrotech. It's tough, guys. 5 shards or what, like 30 Kyrotech pieces? It's a tough debate, guys. Tough sell for me. So Mk1 Raid Tokens. So this is we only earn this currency from completing the raid, and all the GET 1, 2, and 3, you get those from territory battles. This is from the raid, and the Mk1 Raid Tokens, this is where you get your core gear. That's going to be the best value. You can also buy character shards, like we talked about. The same places you can buy the same characters as you can get from the guild event or whatever it's called. I have trouble keeping the names straight, but the guild currency that we were talking about earlier, you can get those shards. So farm those characters. There are you know, like the Han Solo, General Kenobi, and Darth Treya. Those ones are going to be, you know, extra. They have high value, and you definitely want to farm those. And then this is where you get your scanners, your Carbanti, your you know, just all of your core gear. This is really important stuff to be buying this at this store. You can never get enough, honestly. Like this is a nice change that CG gave us, especially for early game. You make a lot of advancements on your account, but yet you dry out with this currency pretty quickly. And now if you have enough currency, if you really need credits, if you really need mod materials, upgrade materials, or omegas, this is also another way. This is a material, this is a currency that you can use to kind of catch up. Omegas, especially early and mid game, they're so rare and tough to get still. Even today, my smallest account is just really struggling to keep up with the Omega crunch. So and that's, you can buy credits, you know, good places to buy all of those. You just have to kind of balance what you need. And honestly, there's not that many poor choices to be able to spend this on. You just you don't have enough currency, even though you earn a ton of it. It seems like every raid, you just still don't have enough ever, it seems like. Mk2 Raid Tokens. So you can buy the shards, the exclusive shards that you can buy for the the other GET 1 and 2 currencies. And then you can also get the right side gear 12 pieces, which are the ones that add speed to your character. They're the tougher ones to get, typically, to complete, and those are really good value as well. This one you got to be careful though, guys. Don't buy relic materials with this, because they're all low-level relic materials, and they are terrible, terrible, terrible value. Same with Chirotech. You don't want to buy Chirotech with this. Also very bad value. Now, Mk3 Raid Tokens. So this is a change from what I said last time too. I said before, you can buy all the different relic materials. These are all the higher level relic materials, and you can, and it's a good deal, except for the gear to keypads. Those ones you're going to do better by spending your Mk2 currency to buy the pieces and then scavenge them into gear to keypads. That's a better value than spending Mk3 tokens. So you could do this. The other thing I said last time was don't spend this on Zetas, and actually that was a little bit short-sighted. I think that buying Zetas with this is acceptable if you're in a guild that's producing, that they're generating more relic materials than you need. Like, you're getting all this raid currency, you're spending it on relic materials that you're not able to spend because you're limited by other things like Chirotech or signal data, something like that, and in the meantime you're struggling to keep up with the Zeta crunch. I don't think that you should spend all of your Mk3 tokens on Zetas, but I do think that every once in a while buying a Zeta mat with this is honestly not the worst thing in the world. I think that you just have to be, again, judicious. You need to spend your currency on things that are going to be a little bit wiser. You know, you gotta make some good decisions. Now, finally, we've come to legend tokens. This is something that it's new since the last video. You get these only if you have a Galactic Legend. You complete a mission, they give you legend tokens, and they give you a store full of things that you really want. You want signal data, which is a huge crunch for endgame players, and you have to ignore it. They give you Chirotech, which is a huge crunch for everyone almost. You have to ignore it. The only two things that are worth anything in this store this is where you can buy Omicrons. Omicrons, that's probably the most important piece, guys. Buy Omicrons here, and if this is a great way to spend crystals to get Omicrons as well, which we're not talking about crystal value, but if you really want to buy more Omicrons, this is like kind of a way a free-to-play player who doesn't want to spend any money on the game could buy more Omicrons, which has been missing in this game for a long time. So Omicrons are available here. The only other thing that holds any value, in my opinion, at all, is the Darth Malgus, or not just, I mean, Darth Malgus, you can see the picture of it, but if you don't have a Conquest character and you really want to hurry up and get them, this is a place to get them as well. It's a place to get them. It's really, really expensive, but like Malgus is a really tough guy to get. His mission on Proving Grounds is extremely difficult to complete, and if you're not completing that mission, you're not going to spend money to buy shards on him, which, you know, like, there's packs available every once in a while, and you don't want to spend the exorbitant crystal prices. This is one place you could conceivably farm one of those characters. It hurts me a little bit inside. I feel sorry for people who have to farm characters like this, but if that's your only recourse, it's your only recourse. You could do it this way. I don't want you to, but I mean, I think that does hold some value. Holds more value than buying just some random Chirotech, which you can get from all these other currencies that we've talked about. So, to recap, you can read this. This is just a quick cheat sheet of here's the things that you could farm. To, you know, the right side gear 12 are Mk2 raid currency. The left side gear 12 pieces are Mk1 raid currency. Apparently I typoed there and said gear 13, so sorry about that. But one way or another, folks, this is it. All the currencies all in one place. I think they'll put timestamps and stuff, and I hope that this helps a little bit. Please let me know if I missed anything. I would love to know in the comments. Give me, you know, respectful feedback, of course, but I would love to hear what you have to say, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.